Welcome to Slow Flow Vinyasa. Tonight's class is going to be all on opening the heart space, and we're going to drop into gratitude, practicing gratitude on and off the mat, being grateful for these bodies of ours and everything that they do for us on and off the mat, and gratitude for our strength and the healing ability of our bodies and minds and gratitude for another day of life. Just finding all the little things and the big things in our life to be grateful for. So let's begin in child's pose. Coming into a tabletop position to get into child's pose. Knees go wide, toes come to touch, sitting back onto the heels, arms stretch out overhead, forehead pressing into the mats, dropping the chest down towards the ground. Stretching through the fingertips. And as you drop into your space, start to focus on the breath. Not trying to change the breath in any way, just allowing the breath to be natural. Let it be soft and slow. And taking a moment of gratitude for this breath of ours, the power of our breath that keeps us alive, that keeps us healthy and full of life. When it's hard to be grateful for life, for our day, for things in our life, when it feels difficult to be grateful for difficult things, I invite you to start small. I tend to like to focus on my physical body when I'm having a difficult time finding things to be grateful for. Gratitude for this breath, gratitude for this moment of being alive. Mhm. And then start to deepen that breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Feeling what that feels like to breathe in deeply and completely. I'm grateful for our ability to breathe so deeply and so completely, and for the health of these bodies of ours. And we don't have to do anything in order to breathe. We can just let our bodies breathe for us. And being grateful for the autonomic nervous system that keeps us alive and keeps our systems going for us. All the intricacies of our physical body that keeps us alive and well. Start to walk the hands off to the right, stretching through that left side rib cage. And then off to the left, stretching through that right side. And then come back through center. Taking another deep breath in and hold at the top, expand through the lungs. And exhale out the mouth. And then come up into tabletop from here on the hands and knees, tucking those toes underneath you. And just start to rock forward and back a couple times, getting into the wrists, getting into the ankles, getting into the feet, our foundation. And just feeling grateful for our body's ability to move now. Our physical ability to move as we please. It's easy to take these simple things like movement, like breathing, for granted. So this class is all about taking the simple pleasures of life and being grateful for them. Because when we find gratitude for what we have, we invite and we open up to receive more of what we're grateful for. Okay, come back to a neutral spine. Now we're going to warm up the spine with cat cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. And exhale, tuck the chin, lift the belly. Finding your flow nice and slow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin for cow. Exhale for cat. Just making it feel really good in your body. Feeling as the pressure or tension, maybe discomfort or even pain leaving the body every round of breath. All right, and then coming back to center, planting that left hand in the center of your mat. Right arm goes high. Big breath in. And exhale, thread that arm through, dropping onto that right shoulder here. That left hand can stay on the ground and press yourself gently open to the left. You can also take that left arm around the low back, whatever feels best for you in this moment, giving yourself that. And feeling grateful for creating space in our body, our ability to create space in our physical body and our mental body, our mind, creating space for ourselves energetically through this practice, through tonight's class. And press to rise back up. Right arm goes high. Inhale. And back down. Exhale. Other side. Right hand plants in the center. Left arm high. Inhale. Exhale. Thread that arm through, dropping onto that left shoulder. Right hand pressing down into the ground, rolling yourself open to the right. And creating more space in between the rib cage and in between the shoulder blades, the back of the heart, and surrounding the whole heart. And then press to rise back up, left arm high, inhale. Back to tabletop, exhale. And then taking one more cat-cow to neutralize. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. And exhale, tuck the chin, lift the belly. And then from here, we're going to come into puppy dog pose. Keeping the hips stacked over the knees. The knees are just slightly wider than hip width apart. Start to walk those hands away from the body. Forehead can come to the mat. And dropping the chest, the heart down towards the ground. If there's any tightness or tension in the shoulders, just widen the stance of the arms or even bending the elbows a bit can help as well. But we want to melt that chest, the heart down towards the ground. Maybe we want to eventually work towards bringing the chin to the ground, which definitely deepens the cervical spine stretch. So just be gentle. If that's too much, you're always welcome to just stay exactly where you're at. Taking long, deep breaths here. And then from there, slither onto your belly, coming into Sphinx pose. So on the belly, the toes are untucked. We're on our elbows. The elbows are stacked below the shoulders, palms pressing down on the ground. The hip points pressing down into the ground as well. We're lifting through the crown of the head, slight tuck of the chin in towards the chest, tops of the feet pressing down, glutes are squeezing. So back bends, heart openers come from our foundation. They start at the foundation, our feet and our legs. Our glutes are there protecting our low back. Pressing down into the ground, reaching the chest forward in between those arms and lifting through the crown of the head. Imagining you're like pulling yourself forward with the arms. Keep the legs active here for a couple more breaths. Good. And then tucking the toes, pressing those palms together, pressing down into the ground with those elbows. We're going to lift the hips for a plank, forearm plank. And then start to walk those feet towards the face for dolphin pose here for a couple breaths, lifting those hips high, opening up the chest, sending the chest back towards the thighs here for 3, 2, and drop those knees to the ground. Sit up tall onto the heels behind you. And we're going to take those knees a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to do seated cat cow now. Inhale reaches the sternum forward. Exhale reaches the sternum back. Keep that movement going, feeling the rocking of the pelvic floor forward and back as you do this a couple times. Good. And then come back to tabletop position, tucking the toes, and then lifting those hips for downward facing dog. So our down dog, our hands are shoulder width apart, flat palms, wide fingers, pointer fingers towards 12 o'clock. Our feet are hip width apart, reaching those heels down and back, lifting through the sit bones, navel squeezing in towards the spine. Head is heavy, gazing back towards the knees, upper thighs, maybe even up towards the navel, the belly button. Shaking the head yes, and shaking the head no, and shaking the head yes again. And then slowly walk yourself to the top of your mat. Press into those shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, rise to stand, press and reach overhead, big breath in. Cactus arms, elbows reach wide. Exhale there. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands, step the right leg back, runner's lunge here. And if you have blocks available, some sort of support, you can use those, framing that front foot. And then dropping that right knee to the ground, arms reach up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, cactus arms. Lift through the sternum. Open up the chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus arms. And then planting those hands back to the blocks or the ground. Tuck the back toes. Lift that back knee. And then walk those hands to the right. Come to the center of your mat. Toes are in, heels are out. Come to standing. Taking a bind behind the back, interlace the hands behind the back or reach for opposite elbows or wrists. And then from there, we're going to fold forward with that bind, leading with the sternum, reaching the crown of the head down towards the ground. Keep straightening those legs out as much as you can, pressing into the outer arches of the feet. Inner arches are lifting. Release the hands to the ankles. Pull yourself in half. And then walk those hands back to the top of your mat. And then step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, folds. Rise to stand. Big breath in. Reach overhead. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant those hands on blocks or the ground. Step that left leg back. Runner's lunge here for a couple breaths. And then drop that left knee to the ground. Arms reach up overhead. Low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, plant those hands back to the blocks or ground. Lift that back knee. And then walk those hands to the left. Come to the center of your mat. And then come to standing. Take that bind behind the back. Lifting that bind. And then folding with that bind once again. Releasing those hands to the ankles. Pull yourself in half. And then walk the hands to the top of your mat. Stepping forward. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, folds. Rise to stand. Big breath in. Reach. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folds. Halfway lift. Inhale. And plant those hands. Step back to high plank. And press back, downward facing dog. Walking the hands back towards the feet. Take the toes out wide. Start to bend those knees, sitting towards the heels. You can keep the hands on the ground for support, or you can bring the hands to heart center. Knees are wide for low malasana squat, yogi's squat. Reaching the sternum forward, lifting through the crown of the head. And start to drop that left shoulder. That left hand plants out to the left. Right arm goes high, twisting open to your right. Take that right arm around the low back. Lift through the chin. And switch sides. Right arm swims out in front of that right shin. Left arm goes high. Look up towards that top hand. And then take that left arm around the low back. Keep lifting through the chin. And then back through center. Walk those hands away from you, rounding, tucking the chin in. It's like you're trying to sit the butt down to the ground while rounding in the upper back, reaching the fingertips far away from you. And then walk back out to tabletop position on the hands and knees. Then from here, we're going to come back into that puppy dog position. Walk the hands away from the body, forehead or chin can come to the mat. Good. And then come on to the belly from here. Once again, Sphinx pose. Elbows are below the shoulders, tops of the feet. Forearms are pressing down into the ground, lifting through the sternum, lifting through the crown of the head. Like you're pulling yourself through the arms, reaching the chest forward. And then taking that left arm out in front of you, still underneath you. So you've got a nice press down into the ground. You're then going to bend that right knee and reach that right hand back for that right foot. You can hold the outer foot, or you can work towards bringing the hand on top of that right foot and press down onto that foot, depending on how open our hip flexors are. You decide which bind you would like to take here for half hero pose. And release. We'll take the other side, right hand down in front of you. Left knee is bent, left hand reaching back for that left ankle. You can reach for that outer ankle or start to press that hand on top of that left foot, like you're trying to touch the heel to the ground next to the hip. Lifting through that left knee. And release. Come all the way down to the ground. Just bring your arms out overhead, bringing that right ear to the mat, laying flat. You might rock the hips from side to side, taking deep belly breaths here, calming the nervous system. Taking a moment of gratitude for
trying new things. Maybe we've done some new poses tonight for you. Or maybe you're deepening certain poses, you're learning more. We're always learning something in this practice because when we come to this practice, we come with a beginner's mind, getting curious about what we can learn, having fun through the process, not judging ourselves for it looking a certain way or it needing to be one way or another. Just grateful for the ability to show up and try something new. Now that we've prepped, we're going to come into Dhanurasana, wheel pose. So from here, bring those arms down by your side. You can come under the chin. We're going to then take the feet as wide as your mat and then bend the knees. Bring the toes to touch behind you. Now, next step, we're going to reach back towards those ankles. Maybe we can grab the ankles. If not, all good. We're just reaching back. We're going to lift everything off the mat. So you don't have to grab the ankles. You can still come into this pose. But if maybe the ankles are there, we can grab them. If we have the ankles, you can kick the feet into the hands and lift through those knees, lift through the chest, opening up the heart space. We're breathing into the belly wherever we're at. Deep breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Bring those arms down to the ground, coming to that left ear. Rest. And then from here, press yourself up into a tabletop position. And then child's pose, knees wide, bring the toes to touch, sit back onto the heels, arms stretch out overhead, releasing the low back, releasing the back of the heart, really letting go and relaxing into this restorative posture here. Grateful for the movement that we do in this practice, and also grateful for the stillness that we get to experience in this practice, knowing we need both in order to find balance, to find harmony within, and also taking that off of the mat. We need both movement and stillness in our everyday lives as well to really find balance and harmony and fulfillment. Coming into twisted child's pose, we're going to take that left arm underneath us to the right. You can come onto the left side of the head. That right arm can just relax on the ground overhead, or that right arm can come around the low back. Another option is to interlace the hands together and gently tug that bind away from you. And release back through center. And then twisting right arm underneath you, twisting to your left. And then come back through center. And taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. And then from here, we're going to flip over onto our sit bones, legs out in front of us. And if you have some sort of support, maybe a blanket or a block, you can use that for this next part. We're going to come into a restorative forward fold. So I like to place a block on my thighs. You can play with the height of the block. Maybe the forehead can come to the block, or maybe you want to bring the forearms onto a block and forehead comes onto the forearms. Maybe a block is just not doing it for you, and that's okay. And we can just fold over those legs with the arms down by your side. But finding a place where you can find some stillness and fully let go into the forward fold. We're releasing the low back, opening the back of the heart. And taking long, deep breaths. Where can we soften a little bit more? Where can we let go of and relax a little bit more? Especially focusing on the exhales here. The inhales, you can feel lengthen through the spine, and the exhales soften you into the pose a little bit more. Unraveling the nervous system, releasing any stress or tension from the body and mind. And deep gratitude for our nervous systems and all that they do for us. Our parasympathetic nervous system and our sympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest, and our fight or flight. They keep us safe. They allow us to heal. They allow us to release the inevitable stress and tension that builds with being human in a very chaotic world. Teaching our bodies and our nervous systems and minds that it is safe to let go, it is safe to relax and soften. And slowly release, sitting up tall. Now we're going to, if you have a blanket or a pillow to use as well, we're going to place one block towards the top of our mat and then place a blanket over top of that block just for comfort here.
We're going to come into a heart opener. So we're going to lay back onto our elbows to get into this. Coming onto the elbows, adjusting that block and blanket to be right at the bra line, essentially, just below the shoulder blades. And then we're going to lay back on to the ground behind us. If we have a second block or some sort of pillow or blanket for support, we can place that underneath the head, like a little pillow. That's quite nice. And then you can teeth our arms out to the side. You can also do cactus arms or any other version that feels good, but teed out position is preferred in this heart opener. The knees can be bent, knees can knock in. If that feels good and supportive, stay there. Otherwise, you can play with straightening the legs out onto the ground, or you can bring the feet together, knees wide, making a diamond shape with the legs with a butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana here. And then take deep belly breath here, breathing into that heart space, space where we're opening, creating room for growth, room for expansion. And in this expansion can be a little discomfort. It can be uncomfortable to create that growth, that expansion. Not chasing sensation necessarily. We're not chasing pain. We don't ever want to feel pain in our practice. A little discomfort's normal, yes, but pain, no. Pain is just a sign that we've gone too deep. We don't want pain. We have a little discomfort. I invite you to play with that, play with the edge of that discomfort and knowing that it'll shift and change and you have full control over the depth of a pose and the discomfort that you experience. We want that happy medium, that Goldilocks position for the nervous system to expand, to learn how to be with the discomfort, but also so it can relax into the discomfort and allow it to become more comfortable, being comfortable with discomfort. Another thing to be grateful for in this practice is room for growth, learning where we have room for growth, where we can expand and uh, learn new things about ourselves, learn how we come to a challenge, learn how we uh, deal with stress, how we deal with discomfort. All good things to learn about ourselves. Self reflection is one of the 8 limbs of yoga. And keep breathing deeply into the heart space. Noticing where the mind goes in the stillness. Where does the thoughts go in the discomfort? Knowing you have full control on where that mind goes. Put your full attention on the breath, coming back to the body anytime we get lost in thought or lost in emotion, lost in sensation.
Come back to the breath. And start to reach those arms overhead. Stretch through the fingertips like you're holding a block between the hands. Take a big breath in, big breath out the mouth. Bringing those arms down by your side, helping those knees back together if they were wide. And then rolling off of the block to one side. And then removing the blocks out from underneath you, laying all the way flat onto the ground. Gently bringing one knee at a time into the chest. And bringing the knees into the chest, forehead to the knees. And then rolling from side to side, giving yourself a little back massage. And then happy baby, take the knees out wide. You can hold the back of the knees or you can reach for outer ankles or outer feet. And again, you can roll from side to side if that feels good for you. Seeing if you can squeeze the navel in towards the spine, hollowing out the belly. And bringing the feet together, holding the feet together, knees stay wide. Again, rolling from side to side. And then take a big bed stretch. Arms and legs go long. And then bringing that right knee into the chest. And then take that knee across the body to your left, gazing to your right for a supine twist. Bringing the knees back through center. And then straighten that leg up towards the ceiling. Hold the back of the thigh. And then squeeze the chin up towards the knee. And release that leg to the ground. Head back to the ground. And then bring that left knee into the chest. And taking that knee across the body to your right. Left arm tees out to the side, gazing to your left. And bringing that knee back through center. And then straighten that leg out, holding the back of the thigh. And then squeeze the knee towards the nose. And then release to the ground. Take a big bed stretch. Arms and legs go long. And then bring the knees into the chest, forehead to the knees. And then bring the feet to the ground. Knees go wide, making a diamond shape with the legs. You can place blocks underneath the knees for extra support if you'd like. You can also reach for opposite elbows over the crown of the head or cactus arms. Maybe close the eyes down and soften the face and the jaw. And focus on the breath. Focus on the deep belly breathing, feeling the rise and fall of the belly and chest on the inhale, and the falling of the chest and belly on the exhale. I'm grateful for this moment, for being in the moment, being present, and being grateful for when we're not in the moment, when we're pulled away from the moment, because then that's an opportunity for us to practice coming back to the breath, coming back to the present moment. Everything is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to expand our consciousness, our awareness of ourself, of our physical bodies, of our minds, of our thoughts, of our beliefs, of our actions, who we're being, who we're becoming. It's all teaching us something about ourselves if we're open to it. And that's where the beginner's mind comes into play in this practice. We're always learning, always growing, curious for more. And then bringing the hands to the knees, bringing the knees together, and then bringing the knees into the chest. And then rock up into a comfortable seat. You can grab a blanket or a block to sit onto to make your seat a little bit more comfortable. We're going to end in a gratitude meditation before Shavasana. So finding a comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall, roll the shoulders up and back, bringing the hands into the lap, eventually closing the eyes down. Or if that doesn't feel okay, you can always keep the eyes open, just have a soft gaze down the bridge of the nose. But relax the face, relax the jaw. Feel the crown of the head lifting, feeling the sit bones grounding, two opposite energies, making you nice and tall. Feeling the strength of the spine holding you here. Feel the softness of your breath as it naturally flows in and out without us needing to do anything. And I invite you to bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And just feeling present in your body. Just feeling the body with your senses, with your hands, with the touch. Feeling the movement of the body and the hands as you breathe deeply. Feel the touch of your skin and the warmth of your skin.
Feeling and hearing the breath, the sound of your breath, listening for the sound of your breath. Now I invite you to envision someone that you deeply love and care for, and that you are deeply grateful for. It can even be yourself, but choosing someone that you're deeply grateful for in this now moment. And envision them as if they're sitting right across from you and you're smiling back at them. They're smiling back at you. You're making eye contact. You're both just sitting with each other, present with each other, grateful for one another, sending them so much love and appreciation in this moment. And now I invite you to think of someone who you might consider your enemy or someone you have a difficult time enjoying, or you have a difficult time liking, or they're just not for you. Someone that you just have a hard time giving love to. Envision them sitting right in front of you, making eye contact with you, and then you're smiling back at them with gratitude, with love, with compassion, with understanding for them, sending them love too, and hoping the best for them just as much as you hoped for the best for your loved one. Giving them that same compassion and love that you give others that you deeply care for. We have that power, that ability to give and receive love. Being grateful for the people who love us and being grateful for the people who don't love us, who are challenging us, because they are both teachers in their own way. How can we love the challenge a little bit more? How can we take the same love and effort that we put into the people who love us back, the same into the people who challenge us and push us and trigger us? It's such a hard lesson to learn, but such a valuable lesson to learn. So keep envisioning that person that challenges you, triggers you, sending them love and compassion and gratitude for teaching you, teaching you maybe boundaries, teaching you maybe to speak up for yourself, to uh, stand up for yourself, teaching you to take your energy back, your power back, teaching you to apologize. Maybe you've hurt them and they've hurt you back. Whatever's happened doesn't matter, but sending them love. And if love is too strong of a word, maybe acceptance. Maybe that resonates better. And now I invite you to envision yourself sitting across from you, sitting there, making eye contact with you, smiling back at you. Maybe it's a younger version of you, maybe it's an older version or the current version of you. Whatever version of you is sitting there, envision her or him or them out in front of you. Just being present with them and sending them so much love and gratitude for all of the wisdom that they hold, all the love that you have for them. Or maybe it's love that you need to give them that you haven't been able to give them yet. Asking them what they need more of from you. Having a conversation with them, knowing they are within you in this moment. They're always with you. Hmm. Taking a few more deep breaths here. And gratitude, sending gratitude to ourselves for being here tonight. And then when you feel ready, you can find your back, finding your final resting pose, laying flat for a few minutes here, making yourself nice and comfortable on the ground. Eyes are closed down, taking a deep breath in and out. Letting the body and mind integrate everything that we just did on our mat tonight, and grateful for these bodies of ours and everything that they experienced in our practice. And starting to come back into your body, back into your space, Taking a deep breath in and out. And then wiggling the fingers and the toes, taking a big bed stretch. Eventually rolling onto your side to then press yourself up into a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to heart center, palms pressed together, bowing inward. As always, ending our practice in gratitude. Gratitude for making it to our mats tonight, despite any resistance that tried to hold us back. Gratitude for another day of life and for these bodies of ours and all that they do for us on and off the mat. And gratitude for this practice and everything that it teaches us. And gratitude for the teacher and student that lives within us. Gratitude for the connection of our mind, body, and soul through this practice and technology that allows us to connect as well. Sending you so much love and gratitude. Thank you so much for being here with me. From my heart to yours, the soul in me honors and respects the soul in you. That is what namaste means. Namaste.